Welcome to another top 5 Rick.
Hey, JT, go.
Oh, mate, I'm pumped for this one.
Oh, yeah,
I'm pumped for this one, just because I'm a pervert.
Aren't we all?
As the title says, top 5 raunchy comedies.
Raunchy comedies.
So, obviously, the rules are, we're not trying to tell you what the top 5 is. Everyone's got their own top 5.
No, that's right.
Every category that we talk about in this show. This is about the top 5 that meant most to me when I was growing up or throughout my life, and that's the same. Rick's choices are related to what he loved and what he liked. So, without further ado, mate, I think I'm due to start off this one.
Start off, Jake.
So let's start off with number 5, mate, and this one here, man, I'm taking you way back to a film I don't think most people maybe heard of outside Australia, and those who have heard it inside Australia would still be minimal. Melvin, the son of Alvin.
Can't say I've heard that one, Jake.
Albin Purple is a very famous movie in Australia, especially in the early 70s, and that itself is a raunchy comedy.
Yeah.
And it's about a gentleman called Albin Purple who's irresistible to women. So women just want to sleep with him.
Okay, alright.
So the whole movie is him running away from, sleeping with women and running away from them.
Yeah.
So Melvin, the son of Albin, is pretty much the same deal. It's about this young guy, he's met a young Greek girl, and he's starting to fall in love, and just every chick on the planet wants to bed him. And it does not hold up. It does not hold up, because I saw it a few years ago and then I went, oh my. But what it did, it just hit me at the right time. I'm talking 82, so I'm like 9 years old. Should not be watching these films, but let's face it, back then, not a lot of adult supervision, you know?
Yeah, that's
it. I watched that, and that probably was a bit of an awakening moment without getting anywhere creepy. But certainly, I remember being in stitches. And I remember showing my best friend, Mark Barty from primary school, and I said, you've got to come around my house and watch this movie. And I remember sitting in the lounge room with him, watching it, and he is just rolling around laughing like he couldn't breathe kind of thing. And there are it's a very slapstick, silly type of comedy.
Yeah.
But it's funny, and it's Australian made, and at its core, it's a sweet movie because he doesn't want to bed these women. He just wants to be with this lovely Greek girl. So, Melvin, the son of Alvin, 1982, mate. Here's some of the cast in this. Graham Blundell, who reprises his role as Albin Purple. So, Graham Blundell, if you don't know him, he's now a big movie commentator in Australian TV at the moment.
Okay.
You've got people like the Melbourne was Jerry Sant. He disappeared after this. But you've got people like Steve Buscemi. Not Steve Buscemi. Steve Bastoni. Remember him from Police Squad?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
And even Rhonda Birchmore's in this movie.
Rhonda Birchmore.
But Rhonda Birchmore 40 years ago.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, not too bad there, you know?
Yeah, look at
absolutely.
That.
It's a silly movie. It's not something you would go back, but it did mean a lot to me growing up, and I did probably watch it about 20 times as a kid. So that's my number 5 of my top 5 raunchy comedy.
Number 5, Jace, for me, I'm going to take it back to 1984.
Great.
For a movie called Hollywood Hot Tubs.
Wow, you have gone deep, dude.
Hollywood Hot Tubs.
You have gone down to the C-grade bucket and you pulled out a gem.
This is not a good movie. Yeah,
no.
At all. This has nothing to do with... It's not going to win any awards back then.
Yeah.
But it had some good moments in it for me. And I thought, the moral of the story basically is just a young guy who's got a parole officer and his parents want him to get him a job. What does he do? He goes out and gets a job as a hot tub repair person.
Of course.
in Hollywood. In Hollywood. So he gets up to mischief with him and his mates and all the rest of it. It's the simplest movie ever, but there's just something about that movie that I enjoy back when I was young, and we obviously know what the reasons were. So there's plenty of
boobies
in that movie.
Boobies.
So it didn't have anyone famous in the cast or anything like that. But yeah,
it's a movie that So now let's go around and see the story around it. Did you hire it from the video shop? How did you?
No, I actually hired it from the video store. So back then, when you were young and you go into these video stores, they've got those sections. They've got the R-rated sections. They've got all those sections. So you're kind of like perusing around, and then you're like, oh. So then you're looking at him, and then so this has a lot of fond memories
You
for me.
wanted the younger guy who didn't give a shit working at the video store?
Just he's just hiring. We don't care what age you are. They never really asked you about the ages back then. They just kind of
Yeah.
So I still love this movie. I still reckon it's a great little movie.
Hollywood
it is
Hot Tub.
Hollywood Hot Tub
That's
number
one
5.
to try to find. If you could dig that up somewhere,
Yeah.
that would be
Hollywood Hot
pretty
Tubs, guys.
impressive if you were able to do that. Move on to number 4.
Number 4, James.
Number 4, this is obviously goes down as one of the classic, not only raunchy comedies, but college comedies of all time, in my opinion. And it's unbelievable it's only sitting at number 4 on my list, but I'm talking Revenge of the Nerds.
Ah, nice!
Revenge of the Nerds, which the whole concept is about being in college and getting laid and partying and being accepted is actually the core theme of this film. And again, the ones that really work, Rick, are these kind of raunchy comedies are the ones that have a very, pure through line to it. And Revenge of the Nerds have that, because it is about acceptance. Doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what you look like, we all should be accepted. Certainly a message for these times as well. But essentially, why does it work? Because at any point, it doesn't matter who you are, I think, we've all felt like that nerd. The one that hasn't been accepted, the one that hasn't, the one who'll never get the hot chick, and all that type of thing. And this is a movie that kind of plays to that, and it's hilarious. I mean, and it spawns some, I don't know how many careers it spawned, but it definitely had, these actors went on to have a fairly decent career. I mean, Anthony Edwards, he went on to have a huge career with ER and producing a lot of...
John Goodman.
Absolutely, mate. That's a good call. Curtis Armstrong, who was Booger.
Best and
he went on to have a career as well,
Ted McGinley.
Ted McGinley, and of course Robert Carradine playing Lewis. Ted McGinley was, he was, he played the perfect douchebag.
And if you don't know who he is, Jefferson
Ted McGinley, just look it up. He's been in Happy Days, Married with Children. He was in, he's a very famous, television actor. For he ran his time. And he was really good in this. Really good at this. Certainly some wonderful scenes in this movie. Certainly finale is fantastic. Obviously, how many times have you quoted the line, "We have boys"?
We have boys.
So, it's there. It's a seminal classic.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, like all this stuff, they franchised it out. And the sequels never lived up to the charm and the enjoyment factor of Revenge of the Nerds for me. And that's my number 4, Rick.
Nice.
Over to you.
Number 4, I'm going to take you back to the year that I was born, 1979.
Oh, so you saw it in the cinemas
I saw it in the cinemas, yep. Meatballs.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray in this, Ivan Reitman movie. Bill Murray in this, I just absolutely love Bill Murray in this as a camp, team leader, I guess what he is. Something like that. Takes a bunch of kids that aren't the most, popular kids, and they go and have their little sexual adventures and everything else. But Bill Murray in this is just on point, and I think he's great in this movie. And you can relate to these kids as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what growing up as well. So. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It's a classic.
Well, the kids weren't trying to get laid; it was more the camp.
Well, they still,
It's a great comedy because
it is.
It's a bit rough and ready these days if you watch it again, but it really was you could see Bill Murray as a figure coming out of that.
He was
the
young
way he portrayed that character. And then took that on further to Ghostbusters and Strike.
And that's what led him off to
career
absolutely. Or whatever.
Very cool. All right, well, let's kick it in here. It's number 3 time. All right, Ricky, here we go, number 3. What can you say about this? What can you say about number 3? All right, that is 1981, I believe, or 82. It's certainly, I can't quite remember off the top of my head. It's Porkys, mate. It's Porkys. Again, one of the classic raunchy comedies. Yeah. I mean, it certainly is one of those films that stands above a lot of the others.
Set in the 50s?
1954 it's set. And it's a bet between 4 college buddies that they're going to get laid by the end of high school, by the end of their senior year.
A place called Porkys.
At a place called Porkys, which is a brothel.
Yeah,
So, hilarious comedy. Way over the top. They did things in this film sexually and using it as comedy that you would not have seen before unless you were watching an adult film. I mean, it really pushed the edge of what you could do at that period. I mean, the hole in the bathroom scene, what goes there in the end. I mean, there you go. I mean, that's something you would have said. But and very funny. And none of these people in these films, except there's two standouts for me. I think one's Kim Cattrall.
Oh, good old
she
young
got
Kim
one of
Cattrall.
I think it was her first film, Kim Cattrall. I mean, obviously she goes on to be obviously in Sex and the City and was my crush in Mannequin. 13-year-old boy watching Mannequin, mate. She was amazing. And there's another actor. I'm just trying to think of who it is that was in it that stands out to me. Anyway, I've gone blank. Never mind. We'll move on. Oh no, Alex Karras. So Alex Karras is a football player in America, but was better known as Webster's dad.
Webster's dad? Where's that?
And this is why I've never seen it. There's Webster's dad in Porkys. What's going on? Classic film. 1981 was its release date. I've got it here. November 13. It was a film that I watched so many times growing up. Always thought it was fun. You know, for a young, straight boy, nothing's better than sitting there and watching Porkys, you know. So that was my number 3, dude. What's your number 3?
Well, I'm going to continue on, Jace, because mine was Porkys as well.
Oh, snap! We've done it again, dude.
Porkys as well, mate. Yeah, I mean, well, you summed it up. Well, I mean, this movie has it all. And you know, and as a kid, you know, because you look at these movies and you're like, oh, wow, you know, and it's one of those movies you just watch over and over again. And it still holds up today, Orion. Yeah. It's just one of those classic movies that you just,
It does actually hold up. If you get a clean copy of it, it's actually paced very well. It doesn't have too many unnecessary shots. The movie works at a certain speed that actually propels the characters forward. You actually see arcs of characters in these movies, which you don't normally see in some of these B-grade, C-grade movies that we've already spoken about, that we've both put on our list.
But the thing that you know, I mean, like they said, these type of series back in the 80s, they spawned more sequels than that. You know,
they certainly struck a vein in the culture of the type of entertainment some young people were looking for.
So they were just pumping them out. The sequels after this weren't, you know.
Oh no, I mean.
They were, but they
didn't go as bad as some sequels for other franchises, because I didn't think Porky's Revenge was horrible. And the good thing about that trilogy is that the same characters remained. And that was a very rare thing back then. You had even Grease couldn't bring back Olivia Newton-John Travolta.
Why would they even do Grease too?
You know, they went with Michelle Pfeiffer. And the other guy I can't remember. But, yeah, like, at the end of the day, to keep the whole cast all the way through, Porky's is a seminal film and deserves a spot in this top 5. And I think most people who've seen a lot of raunchy comedies would definitely be agreeing with this, Rick.
Definitely.
Oh, well, then I'm moving to number 2, aren't
I? We're on number 2, Jay.
Okay, number 2. 1985. 1985. This one is directed by John Hughes. So it's going to blow people's mind. I'm talking Weird Science. Weird Science, Kelly LeBrock.
Oh, who'd have known Kelly LeBrock back then?
Oh. So the conceit is 2 high school nerds decide to build a computer program, build it into a woman, to a real life woman, and with the power less than a Commodore 64, they're able to create a digital creation, which is Kelly LeBrock, and she very, very attractive in this movie. Massive crush on her. And they created her so they could sleep with her. Yeah. But the conceit of the whole film is they never actually... They never did. No, they never did.
They never slept with her.
Did one of the main kids sleep with her at the end?
No.
They
had a shower with her.
That's right. But they were kind of like freaked out the whole time. Chet. We have to say is Chet in that movie. Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton, one of his earlier funnier roles. But Anthony Michael Hall at the time... He was a big star. At that period in time, he was a massive star. So he's really headlining this movie, but he's playing the best friend. He's not playing the straight guy. And he was really, really funny in it too. And like every John Hughes film, there's a message there. Yeah. There's an overall theme. And it works really well. It is one of those movies that is very peculiar because I don't think there's any boobs or nudity in it at all.
No,
there's none at all. But it's a highly sexualised film, and the main drive of the characters is to get laid. So I do think, for me, I've interpreted it deserves a spot in here. And certainly one of those films that Mate, in 1985, what was I, 12, 13? This movie was made for my age group, and I continued to watch it for years.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
Classic.
One of his earlier roles, mate. Good call there, Rick. Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man himself.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I think this film is sweet. It is very... Also, she could be wearing... at that point in time, she could have been wearing an overcoat and still looked amazing. So, fantastic film.
Awesome.
That's my number 2, dude. Over to you.
My number 2, you already discussed. Number 2, Jace, Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, Revenge of the Nerds.
I plotted in number 2, mate. Yeah. Definitely deserves that. Well, look, we all know. We've discussed this movie. I love this movie. I've owned it. Multiple versions of it. Yeah, it's still a classic to me, and it's just, it will never die. It's just one of those, it does. It has everything, and you relate to this movie, so we all discussed what it is, so Revenge of the Nerds for me was on my list for number 2, buddy.
Mate, brilliant choice. Well, we're now sped up all the way to number 1.
This is it.
Here we go, ready, here we go. My number 1.
Oh, good, yep.
Second comedy of all time. Actually wasn't made in the 80s, so I feel like we spent a lot of time in the 80s.
Because that's where they all were, but
the 2004 comedy, The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Nice.
I think it encapsulates what you can do in this genre if you want it. As a raunchy comedy, you've got this awkward, 40-year-old guy who's never been able to actually bet a woman. He's come close a couple of times, but he never do it. Never done it. So it's about a film about him meeting them. And again, it's a Judd Apatow film, so it does have heart and soul in it, and it does meet the woman he eventually wants to be with. But holy moly, this film's strength is not only in the performance, the standout performance by Steve Carell, which kind of I think made his career, it's the cast around it. Yeah. Paul Rudd. Seth Rogen in one of his earlier, bigger roles. I mean, he'd been on television, but he really stood out in this film. Paul Rudd, of course. Jane, forgotten her name, tall lady. Jane, she's been in a lot of stuff, Lee and all that kind of thing. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Absolutely fantastic. Catherine Kenner playing the woman that actually eventually beds him. But just those card games alone. We're talking about the first time they're losing the virginity. Elizabeth Banks is in this film as well.
Oh, that's right. The chick you picked up in the nightclub. Yeah.
There's just so much to love about this film. I don't think there's many scenes in this film that you are not laughing at. Even like just the scene of those two playing games, Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. You know why you're gay?
Yeah.
That whole thing
that's right.
Is just hilarious.
Porn collection. They give him his porn collection. It's just awesome.
It's just such a funny movie, and it has heart, and it's a rare thing. It's a raunchy comedy made for adults, which is kind of cool because you don't get a lot of them. There are some out there, but not to the quality and strength of the 40-Year-Old Virgin, Rick.
No.
40-Year-Old Virgin, my number 1.
That scene that he did with the hair on his chest, was
incredible.
That legit?
He did that?
Yeah.
Anyone who's watched the special features, you can find them on YouTube. Yeah. Absolutely. That was a real
dedication to a movie.
So what he's screwing, the pain he's living that in that moment. So it's pretty incredible.
Amazing.
So that's my number 1 top raunchy comedy of all time so far.
Nice.
That's a big call. Big tick, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. So drum roll.
Number 1, Jay,
for
you, me, mate. 1999. This movie holds up for me, and probably for a lot of people, and it actually spawned relived that type of
resurgence of the genre. I reckon.
American Pie.
I knew that. I always knew when we come up with this idea that had to be
my number 1
in your top 5. Well, I didn't know it was going to be in number 1.
Yeah.
So as we're going through the list today, I'm thinking, no American Pie yet.
I thought you were going to put that in your list as well.
It's an honourable mention. It's absolutely an honourable mention, but I had to stick to what the heart says. Yeah. And that's where a lot of my choices come with a lot of heart and a little bit of head.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun. Yeah. But, Mate, but you cannot go wrong with American Pie.
Oh, mate, you can't. A group of guys, they're just having a pact to get laid before they go into college. Yep. And what's the sport? And it's friendships, and it has everything. It's got the comedy. It's got the whole sexual side of it and the nudity and all that, but it's just written well, and it spawned off quite a lot of, like, look, it did do some other sequels and a lot of stuff like that, but, you know...
Well, they had it like it's a split franchise in many ways.
Yeah.
You had your theatrical sequels,
yeah,
your American Pie 2,
and then you had
no, you had the wedding and then the reunion.
The reunion. And
so they've had 4, but then there's been a whole
Band Camp and
side dodgy
Stifler's brother, and it just rolled on and on and on.
It's insane.
But Eugene Levy in this is just fantastic. You know,
you've got to talk about this young cast.
You know, Jason Biggs.
Jason Biggs launched his career.
By fucking a pie, basically.
Sean William Scott launched his career.
Off he goes. You know.
Keep going down the list. There is tons of...
Mate,
just scroll down a little bit there. I think you've got the list there. If you can get down to the cast, I'd love to show you some of the cast here. Look, listen to some of these names that we're rolling off here.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Of course, that launched her career. I'd never heard of her.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Alison Hannigan, who ended up going really
Klein,
big.
You know.
Natasha Leone, who's now she got on Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Has got her own show on one of the big networks over there. She's on Netflix again, sorry.
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid.
Then she came back doing Sharknado. And then just...
It goes. But incredible cast.
It did.
It's one of those, there's not many films you can go through history and go, that cast, although unknown at the time, you know, but look what happened after. Like The Outsiders, we did a trailer reaction on The Outsiders, a perfect film at that time. Most of those young actors didn't exist. They become powerhouses in Hollywood. And they
gelled. They gelled together.
Chemistry was so important.
Was spot on with this movie, and you could relate to them. It was just
It is. John Chow.
Yes.
John Chow in this as well, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yep. No, was it
Harold and Kumar?
Was it Harold as well there?
No, he wasn't. No,
it was John Cho though.
John
Cho was in there. Yeah. MILF.
Looking at MILF at the end of every.
How many films can you say out there that changed the English language? I'd never heard of the film.
No, that's right.
MILF until
I think this is where it came from.
Yeah. And it's now a common used term.
Yeah, Alison
Especially
Hannigan,
the sites that
you know, and then you like the whole, band camp with the flute. The jokes were just spot on, and they were like funny. Yeah. They were just,
Oh, that's great choice.
I love it. Yeah,
can't go wrong with that one, mate.
That's it.
Can't go
wrong. Number one.
That's our top 5, guys. We've spun through another top 5, and we're going to do another one again, and we're just about to announce what that next show will be, Rick, and because he doesn't know yet.
Right.
Next one is the top 5 horror movie villains.
Wow.
So these are the villains, the bad guys, the creepy mofos from all horror films.
This is up your alley, Jace. I know you're a big horror fan.
Yeah, I'm a big horror fan. This is going to be a very tough list, to be honest with you, because there are some obvious ones there, but it's worth going into because there are some unbelievable monsters, serial killers.
Well, that's right. It's
ghosts and all that go under that umbrella. So
it's
going to be a great show. That comes out in 2 weeks' time. Couple of weeks. Give us enough time to do our research and figure out what our top 5s are, and we'll be back again then with another show. But until then, we love hearing from you guys. What did you think of this top 5? Did you agree with us, or you don't agree? Do you have your own top 5? We have so many questions that we want you to answer, and Rick, how do they do that?
Guys, all you need to do is give us a comment down below for the video. Also, give us one of these a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. If you have subscribed to our channel, thank you so much for your support. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell and just follow us on all our social media sites. Easy and simple as that, guys.
We will see you at the next show.
See ya.